Okay, the meeting is now being recorded. So once again, welcome to our last class, our final class of this boot camp. It has been a long journey, you know, learning Figma shape, learning Figma layer panel, learning Figma design panel, and even building something together. It is like a privilege to be the one anchoring, facilitating this boot camp. It has not been easy for me myself. The reason why is this easy is because of it's what I've been doing over the years. So even if I don't prepare sometimes, I do it easily. Unlike the other thing that I was doing and I'm doing, which is teaching programming. Sometimes I really have to prepare myself before going to class. But this one is what I do every single day. So today we are going to wrap up with our class by learning prototyping in Figma. Not even only prototyping as far as user flow is concerned, but also to learn how animation work. So let me just share my screen now and go on to Figma immediately. Before I go on to Figma, do you have any question? Maybe there's something that you don't understand as far as the wireframe is concerned or the design is concerned, so that we can clarify it now before we continue. Precious, Mr. Bethel, is there anything that you want to know, even if it's not limited to those aspects?
Well, my only difficulty is prototyping, which we are going to cover in this class. So I already
Okay,
have knowledge of wireframing, user experience, and user interface. Just start prototyping. Not like I don't know how to do it. I I don't really know how to do it very well. So I just need to understand the concept once again.
okay. When it comes to prototyping, all of us that's learning, I like to, start everything with that. All of us that, even myself, I'm still learning. There's something that I see online that I will say that, how do these people achieve this? So I'm still learning. I won't lie to you in that aspect. But the thing is that most people that come to you, they will not want you to be doing all those advanced prototyping. Some of these people that are doing this is just for them to showcase things that they can do online. Most clients will not be asking you for you to be doing all those advanced prototyping, but the one that the clients will be asking most of the time is very easy to do. That's why I don't even focus more attention on that. And if you are like me, you design and you develop. After you design, you still go and develop it. You don't even want to put more energy on that because most of the things that you can do with Figma, you can actually do it with CSS. In fact, all of them are coming from CSS. They are like CSS concept that Figma is trying to replicate with those smart animates, the interactions, and so on. So if you know you're still going to go and make the animation in CSS, why would you want to be stopping yourself in doing it with Figma again? That's why sometimes I don't even place emphasis on it. But it is very important when it comes to mobile application because mobile application is totally different thing. But when I'm doing websites, I don't really put much effort in animating them. But it's okay that you know how to do it because the time will come that some clients what they will actually want is that animation, that prototyping. So we are going to cover the fundamental, and we are going to be doing it on our own design today. But because we are still not going to go into all of them because it's just about creativity. The more you are doing it, the better you become at doing it. So that's how it works. But we are still going to go into details of how things work, especially under the hood today. Okay. Precious, do you have any question?
No, sir. I'm still doing the this in the wireframing. It's hard, but I mean I'm getting through it. So there's no question for now. Maybe later.
Maybe later. I even want to see what happened. I've been busy lately since about on Friday. I've been busy with this the guy I'm working with, and I need to wrap up a project that he gave me last week. So I've been busy. I've not been able to even check all everyone wireframes over the weekend. But today, maybe after this class, I'm going to do so because I want to give all of you certificates of participation. At least you come, so can give you. I'll go through it again and see if there's anything that I can put in. Then I will surely add it. So let me now
Okay,
go
sir.
to Figma. Let me go to Figma. So here we are. This is our file in Figma. And as you can see, I added all these things just for me to explain uh, Smart Animate in Figma. And now you can see my screen very clearly, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, we can, sir.
We can see
Okay.
it. Okay.
So let's start with Smart Animate because last week we talked about, I mean, was it last week? Yeah, last week, Friday, we talked about animation in Figma, I mean, prototyping in Figma. As just a way of allowing users to move from one place to another. That is the design that we've designed. We want to exemplify how it's going to look in real world. That's the purpose of prototyping. The primary purpose of prototyping is just that, so that we can see how our design is going to look in real world. But beyond that, we can also add animation to our um design, just to make the user journey more fun, right? To make it fun, to make it juicy, to make it that it's going to leave an everlasting, make great memories for the user. That's why Figma had this particular um, functionality or feature called Smart Animate. So Smart Animate is what allow us to be able to add this animation in our prototyping. Okay, and the way Smart Animate work is like it tries to identify similar layouts, not even similar layouts, now identical layouts. That is layouts that are the same in everything. They are the same in name, they are the same in size, they are the same in everything, and we will see how they work. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to create this frame together, and I don't want to copy it. I want us to create it together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the size now. The size here is the width is 672, and then the height is 813. Okay. So let me create a frame. So let's put this one to 672. This one 672, and I think the height is 813, like this. Okay. Just so that if you want to create it, you can create it with me. And then I'm going to change the color to this guy. I just press I on my keyboard and I pick the color. So I'm going to draw a circle by clicking on ellipse here. Hold shift to make it circle. Okay. Let me check this size. This is 249. We can go with 250. Doesn't matter. 250 by 250 to make it super round. And then I'm going to center it. Okay. So let's take a look at what we need to do. First of all, what we need to do is let's rename this one to easy name that we can remember in case you want to change the name in the future. This one is from some millions of number here. So let me just call it um artboard. Okay. This one I call this one frame a screen. So let me call this one artboard like this. Okay. So this artboard now, this name is super important to Figma and to Figma Animate or to Figma Smart Animate. Is that the name? Smart Animate, so that it can be able to recognize identical layouts. So this one too, we need to rename it to something that's very simple. Let's just call it let's call it circle now. Okay, so that's cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it like this. Okay, so I'm going to click on here and I'm going to go to prototype. So when I go to prototype, you can see I can actually choose from this screen to this screen like this. And what I will do is I will enlarge this one to be like this. Okay. I want to teach you something before I actually show you that Smart Animate in action. Let me delete this one. I don't need it for now. And don't forget to still have this line here. So let me just call this one initial flow like this. Okay. So I will click on this arrow, the one that is joining them together. And I'll do some setting. So the setting that I'm going to do here is, as I explain all of this, the trigger. So the trigger is like asking us what you want to happen for this screen to jump to this screen. That's the trigger. And we have so many of them. We have on click, we have on drag, we have while offering, while pressing, and so on and so forth. The one actually very useful are this on click, on drag, and after delay. This after delay is super useful when it comes to animation in Figma. Okay, and we see it in a minute. But for now, let's go with on click. And then I'm not going to use smart animate. Let's use instant because it will make you to appreciate smart animate. Let's just use instant now and let's see what will happen. So what I'm going to do is um, let me remove this one for now. And I'm going to go to before I show you preview. And what preview does is it allows you to see the preview of what we are going to be doing inside of this place. But I think now let me show you present. So let me present this. Present we open it like a new file. And when it's open it, there's going to be more menu to it. Okay, that you can actually use to make the animation more visible, and it's going to be large of course because it's a new file, but it's still the same thing as what we asked as preview. But for now, let me just show you present too. As you can see under this tab here to the left, we have more menu to work with. In case you have more flows, we have a flow here. This is the flow. This flow we call it initial flow. We can also have another screen, maybe linking from this screen to this screen, and call it secondary flow or something like that. So all of those flow will now be here. Okay, but for now, let's select this initial flow because this initial flow is going to be what's going to be played here. So what I'm going to do is, don't forget what I did. This one is small, and then I scale it up like this, and then I link this particular um, frame or artboard to this second one. But don't forget that this guy has the same name with this guy. This guy too has the same name with this guy. Okay, that's very important when we talk about smart animes. But for now, we're not using smart anime, we are just using instant. Under this animation, we're using instant. That means there's no animation. Instant means no animation at all. Okay, let's see what's going to happen. So when I click on this, look at what happened. There's no any animation at all. It just happened abruptly without any animation at all. That's the difference between animation and non-animation or no animation. Okay, but now let's use smart animate and see what's going to happen. Of course, you can also try the solve. The solve will just try to animate it, but it's not going to be smart. Okay, let's use smart animate. So when we click on smart animate, you can see we have different menu, more menu here. We have the animation curve, we have the animation duration, and so on and so forth. Okay, this animation curve, I'm going to set it to linear for now because for now you don't even know the meaning of ease in, ease out, ease in and out, and I will show you what they mean in a moment. Okay, let me just put it to linear. Okay, what linear will do is that the animation will just happen on the linear base without fast at any point or any position at all. But if you use all this ease in and out, sometimes they will be a little bit faster, sometimes they will be a little bit slower, and I will show you what I mean in a second. But let's go with this linear first. So set the curve to linear, and then let's set the duration to let's say 500 milliseconds. That's half a second. Okay. So let's see what's going to happen here now. So what I'm going to do is I'll press Ctrl R on my keyboard. Okay. You can also go to this place. Okay, it's even R, not Ctrl R. R. See, restart. Restart is R. So before, you know what happened? It jumped without even animation. But see what will happen now. You can see that it now like is growing to become big. That's what smart animation does. Okay. Let me click on add again and restart and show you again. You can see that's what animation, that's what smart animate does. And the way it does is it's like it based on some rules. So I'm going to show you all these rules one after the other. Some rules, there are some property that's property or um yeah, we can just say some property that smart animate actually animate. Okay. And that's what I'm going to show you next. So the first one is scale. That's what we just did here. Okay. So when smart anime sees that the name of this particular circle is the same with this circle now, and you scale it, so they are still the same thing as far as smart anime is concerned. So it will try to recognize that you scale it, and then it will put some animations with that scaling. That's why you can see that here they are still the same circle, but it's gross. Okay, that's scaling. So Smart animate all of this property: scale, position, opacity, rotation, and fill. So if you change any of property of this particular thing on any item that has the same name together with the other one that you changed, there's going to be an animation. Okay, that's the rules. That's as simple as it is. And we can use it to create a very complex animation by joining them by joining all of them together. Okay. So here now, what we have is just simple scaling, because here now we have a circle. The name of the circle is what? Circle. And then this one too, circle. And then animate. Let's try to change this one name to something different. Let's just call it um so let's say we make mistake. We wanted to write circle, but we mistakenly write circle like this. Circle. Okay. Let's see what will happen. Maybe Smart Animate can still recognize it. Okay. Then we press restart now. You can see what happened now. The animation does not work again. You can see. So the name of your layout is very important, very crucial for your animation. If the name is wrong, the animation will simply not work. So Figma take into account, or Smart Animate take into account the name of your layout. Okay. And here we are seeing that this frame does not change. The reason why it does not change is because of this frame has the same name with this one. Okay. That's why it does not feel like it's changed. It's the Smart Animate recognize that, okay, oh, this particular frame, the parent frame, is the same thing. Do you understand that it's the same thing? It's not changed. But if you change the name, it will be like this one is even moving to this one. Okay, that's why everything is still kept. Okay, so now you understand how Smart Animate work in terms of what the layers name, and then in terms of scaling. So Smart Animate can recognize that, okay, oh, you scale this item, so and the item is the same thing as far as the name is concerned. Okay, that's just how it works. Okay, so I'll quickly show you all of this one after the other. Okay, before I move on to animate, I think here you can actually animate this guy. Okay, turn into this one, and it's going to make sense. It's not going to happen abruptly. It's going to make sense. It's going to move like it's moving from one circle to the other, just like you will see it in real world application. Okay, we can actually animate this one too, at least to some extent. Okay, and that's basically the animation that we're going to be having here. But we can just animate this hero section here. We can make this one to come from the bottom, this one from the bottom, and maybe this one from the left, and then this one from the right. We can also make this one to come to from the bottom in a parallel way. That means just it will not be happening at the same time. This one will appear first, this one will appear second, and then all this one. Okay, you can do something really fun with it. You don't have time to do all of this one now. You just do this one because of our time. But as far as you get all this, we're going to be talking about all these animation property, scale, position, opacity. You can go on and expand your own horizon too, of combining these animations together and doing it on a real world project. Okay, let's continue now. And I hope you understand what I've been saying so far to this extent, because this basic is very important. Is there any question so far? Maybe there's something that you need clarity on.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. So let's continue. So the next thing that we have here is position. Okay. Position is very important because with this one you can actually do some parallel animation. Okay. So the way that one work is just like this. So this one I'm going to be using this one as um, a blueprint of my animation. So let me copy all of these three. Yeah. So you can see I'm copying it now. And because I'm copying it now, there's no any issue of name conflict. The name is still going to be the same. Okay. So this is all I mean by position. Now, Figma has make everything simple. See, in this position, we have the X and we have the Y. That's just what position means. That's the movement of this particular element on this parent frame. Okay. So the same thing to this particular element on the entire viewport or the entire this entire place that you're designing. Okay. So here now, let's just say before this one has, let's put it to maybe 40 paddings to the left like this. Okay. And this one too has the same thing. This one was not before 40, but I just want to make it uniform. So you can see that the position has been changing now. This one to the left and this one to the right. Okay. So smart animates we also recognize their position and then it will animate them. So this one will be from this place and it will move down to this place. Okay. So let me call this particular animation before I name it initial flow, but let me just call it scale for now because this one is what we use to simplify scale. So this one, let me get rid of this particular flow here. I'm going to call this one position. So this position, and we can make it on click too. Okay. So when we click on this circle, it should just move to the right up to this particular point. Okay. So let me come in. This is what I want to do. I want to change the color to total white. This is not white. This is like this. Okay. Very good. So this guy here, prototype. Okay, I think I already click it. So on click, smart animate, linear for now, 500 milliseconds. Okay. So now, okay, it will not happen because I'm starting the flow here on Artboard. Let me actually remove this flow. If you want to remove this flow, it's very simple. Click on the flow and then press backspace to delete it. Let me click on this particular particular circle. Now you can start the animation from any element, but it must always connect to a frame. You can't connect this particular circle to this one. It will not work. Must be always connecting to a frame. Okay. So this one on click and then smart animate 100 milliseconds. And because of the name is the same, it's going to move now. So let's see what we have now. It's trying to reload. Okay. Okay. The reason why I can't see that position here is because of I did not create the flows for it. When I start from this place, there's no flow. And if there's no flow, the animation will not be even applying here. So you can't see your animation. And this is kind of common mistake. So what we do is to resolve this is just create a flow here, flow starting point. Just know that where do you want this animation or where do you want this flow to start from? So let me just click on this add button and we have it here. Let me rename it to position now. Okay. Let's continue to our place and we see it here. You see, you have position now. So let me click on this button or this circle and you can see that this is animated now. Okay. And we can actually make it go back when you click here. And that's, you just have to have this particular circle going back to here after click. Okay. So now animation will happen both way. And don't forget we are using the same smart animate. So there will be some animation. Let me click out on my keyboard to start again. Right? You can see. So You can imagine that we can use this to what? Do some animation. So what I can do is maybe you can actually see that in real life. You can imagine that in real life if you have maybe a button, a toggle button, and let's just have a small toggle button now. Okay, so let me just put the color to white because some people may not even understand how this thing works in real life. Maybe asking that what's the point of doing this? So let me rename this button to let me just call it toggle. Okay, and then I want to duplicate it, and then I'm going to make this one be like this. Okay, so let me give this one something like maybe this color. Okay, and then this one too like this, but then must be a little bit like this. Okay, so we can actually take both of them and then put them in a frame and call it toggle button. Okay, so let me just copy it to this place. So what I'm going to do is, but this one is going to be off. So we can just make this one to be like this, and then this one is going to be on. So now we use green to do that. Let's make it a little bit saturated. Something like this. Maybe okay. And then this one too. If I let me copy this green color here like this, and I'm going to make it something like this. Okay. Yeah. So we can wrap it now. So we can animate this. Okay. Then on click, it should lead to this particular screen. Okay, and that's going to be on click, right? That's home button and here too. When you click it, it's going to lead to particular screen again. So let's see what we have now. Okay. So let it load. You can see what we have now. The reason why this one is moving is because I think animating this one here. Actually, did not want this one to move. The reason is because of okay, because of here, right? At this particular point, this screen is moving. So if you want to stop that, this is how you do it. Just let me connect my phone for now. So this is how you do it. You just have to delete this flow and bring this one here like this. Okay. And then we have this flow. Let me remove this flow. Okay. So you can do it this way now. On click. Now scroll to but navigate to here. When it comes to smart animate, just only have to think about the way it's going to work. The reason is because of we have many clicks. So let me remove this one, and then this one should be on click, action, navigate to okay, and this one too can make it come to this place, right? On click, animate, okay, okay. Do you have any animation from that place? Animate. I will go to. Okay. That's what we have now. In fact, it doesn't make sense again now. Because of here now, this one is on the same screen. I'm going to see both of them. So for us to be able to do it now, we have to be able to move it out. So you can see what Smart Animate is like and the way it works. I mean, animation, just like technical know-how. I don't cram things as far as all these things is concerned. You just know what you're doing. But let's see how to get this result. I really want to see. I really want you to see this particular thing, like so you can appreciate the animation when it comes to um positioning. You can use to do a lot of interesting stuff. Let's see what we have now. So we can actually make it simpler, just like this one that we have here. On this one, so this guy, we have one on click before. And if you have one on click before, you can add the second on click again. So you take note of that. And this one on click, smart animate. So I did not have to worry about the layers name because I'm just copying. I don't create it from scratch again. Make sure you share to smart animate. And let's see what we have now. Okay. I know I've created a flow for it. It's the one with flow one. I want to name that. Just trying to use that one as an example. So this flow one here now. If you click on it now, you're seeing it. So you can see the frame is kind of changing. Okay. Everything is animating. That is because of I think that the frame is not the same with what we have here. Let me see what we have here. And the frame is trying to animate too. So what we have here is we have 354 by 254. And we have three. Okay. I think we are okay as far as that is concerned. You can see now. Okay. And the position here is not the same. That's why you can see the entire position changing. Let's just center it. If you center it, the position will be static because Smart Anime take into account every position in your layout, in your frame. Okay. So now you can see it's not moving again now. Everything as is doing like it's one now. So just like if you have a toggle button on your phone or any other thing, and you can see it's moving like this how it happens. So this how you can represent the same thing in Figma actually. So let's just continue because the list is endless. What you can do with this positioning is endless, but I still want to show you. But let me delete this one. Let me just put it here. But I'm going to delete the flow of that flow one. This flow one. All your flows. If you click on prototyping, all your flows will be here. You see flows, websites, initial screen, scale, the one that we talk about here, position, and then this flow one. So you can actually right click on it. Think, you know what? Let me just delete this one and I'm going to remove it from this place. Full starting points. This minus sign, remove it. Okay. So that it will not be applying here. Okay, so let's continue to the next thing, which is opacity. Okay. So Smart Animate also animate opacity of your layout. And we all know what opacity means. So what I'm going to do is let me copy the one I'm using as initial screen again all over. Okay. So you can see this color opacity now is set to 100%. So Smart Animate can animate that, and that's based on feel. But for now, let's just focus on the layers opacity, which is this one. So let me just copy this one or to this place. And then I'm going to remove this fill like this. Okay. And probably this fill too. Okay. And let's see how it will happen. So let me just play this a little bit. We are going with on click all the time. Let's just go on click for this one because actually makes sense to go with on click on this one. And maybe in the next example rotation, we use after delay. Okay. So everything is all right now. And I'm going to, if we don't have a flow, it will not work. Let me just create a flow here. And I'm going to call the flow opacity. Okay. But note here that we don't change the fill color. We are only changing the opacity. And Smart Animate will recognize that and change the opacity. I'm gonna pull out this thing. Okay. So here now, we can actually see it here. That's opacity. So if I click on this now, you can see the way it animates now. Just short through animation. Okay. So that's just it. Okay. One thing that I needed to show you that when I was explaining this position is all this curve, the curve, this curve is in is out. So you're going to come to it. Let's just complete all the properties for now. The next property here is, in fact, let me copy this one here. The next property here is rotation. Okay, this is how that one will work. Let me create this. Okay, let's say we have three circle here. One, two, three. And these three, I'm going to make them have the same spacing, and I will group them. Okay, so I'm going to give them different color. I think I select some colors here. So let me go with this one. So let me make this one like this one like this one like this, and this one like this. And I'm going to make this one like this. In fact, all of them. This video can be future reference points. You need to reference all this in the future. Make it like this. Okay. So let's actually make this one to be different color. Maybe you can go with some nice. Okay. And then this one, if you don't have red, something like this. And yeah, it's okay for now. I'll remove this one. So I'll group all of them together because we want to rotate every one of them. So Control Alt and G to frame them. Okay. Let me just call it. What can we call it? Let's call it circles. Plural. And then I'm going to copy them all over down to this place. Okay. And what I'm going to do is this one, everything is still the same as the first one. I'm going to rotate it like this. Let me go with, I think that's minus 180 rotation. Okay. Okay, good. So you can animate it with the help of Smart Animate. But I'm going to start from this point and then down to this point. Okay. And this is going to be, let's set it to after delay now. After delay now, as you can see now, it's telling us delay. What time do you want it to wait before it starts? That's the meaning of this delay. So the trigger after delay and then delay. And as I told you, 1000 milliseconds is 1 second. Okay, let's go with 1 second for now. And let's maintain the animation to be linear for now. And then duration should be 500 milliseconds. And let's see what we have here. So let's create the flow again. The flow in this instance is going to be rotation. Okay. So let's wait for it. Rotation. You can see after 1 second, this thing rotated. You can see it's way to work. Let me click on restart again. Okay. And you can also rotate this back if you want to. You click on this particular frame and then you click on this other icon and drag. And then let us go with after delay again. Now the after delay is not going to be, let's just say you can't, as far as delay is concerned, there's going to be some delay. So you can't go with 0. You have to go with something like 1 milliseconds. Okay. And smart animate. Yeah. And let's see how it should be now. So it's rotating backward now. Okay. So what is happening here is that this one does not wait at all. But this one is after 1 millisecond, after 1 second. You can see now that's what is happening here. Okay. So what we can do, if in fact in Figma, it's not easy for you to make something animate continuously. And let's see what I mean. Let's just say I set this particular frame, the one that has 1000 to 1 millisecond. Okay. You can see the way it's still going to be doing. For us to make it animate like continuously, we have to create about 4 frames. Okay. When we create the first frame, we set this one is going to be at point 0. This one is going to be at that's 90 degree. The other one at 180 degree, 217 and 360. And then we come back to 0. But then it's not going to be smooth because of this curve, linear. At some point, you'll be stopping a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. I don't want us to go into that for now. Let's just continue. And okay, yeah. Let me just show you the last one, which is fill. As you can see, fill is going to be something like very simple. So let me grab my initial board. So this is fill. Fill just make color. So let's change the fill to something different. Of course, it's not going to be on the initial one. So let me copy this one here and then let me change the fill to and change it to this contrasted green. Okay. Because you can create as many artboard as possible. You are dealing with two most of the time. You can do it continuously. Change it to so this one is a bit nicer. Since it's like we want to keep everything saturated here. And then let's go with maybe this guy. I want everything. Those guy. Yeah. So the color has been changed. Let's just bring them together and then let's go with the same after delay now. After delay, afterwards, after 1 millisecond change, that is going to be happen almost immediately. And then smart animate, linear, and then on and on to this guy. After delay, 1 millisecond, after delay, 1 millisecond. Okay. For this one, always keep this one navigate to. This one I use in specific places. But if you are changing from one screen to another, it's always navigate to. So we are US design. Okay, we have not created a flow. I keep on forgetting it. So let me click on the first last board and I'm going to call this one field. Okay. This is the fundamental that you need to know for you to create a desired animation. So you can see now how it works. Let me click on how again to restart. You can see now that it's animating it. But we can actually go back to the first um, dashboard and after the lead of 1 millisecond like this. And let's see what we have now. It's not going to be on continuous. So this is how it works. This one may not actually make more sense because what we are actually doing is just we are using solid color. Suppose we use gradient now. I think I'm using gradients here. No, not gradient though. Okay, let's have gradients here. We see how it will work. It will make a lot of sense now. So let me set this onto something suitable. Yeah, okay. Gradient is also under the field. And I'm going to copy this color, this gradient, Control C, this second artboard, paste it here. So here I'm going to change the orientation. Okay. Suppose you are designing for kids, maybe this can come in handy. And then here, I can actually change the color now, something different. Let's go with this guy. You have a question? This guy. And then I'm going to copy the same field to this place.
There is a laptop on your bed. Do you still remember that?
Please, if you're not speaking, please mute your mic. So this guy, we actually add many, we can add many color here,
You think
but
we
we have only two.
make sure what to eat. Because I can have
Okay,
their food. I'll go cooking, right?
okay. So here now, all of them are going to be animated, including this particular um, gradient. Let's see what we have now. You can see the way it's happening now. Okay, and you can see how smooth it is. So some people actually use this to create what's it called? A very good animation by doing it on the back of this card. So if you have something like this is just like an example. So you are going to animate them. You have something like this, total white, and then I can create some random shape That's rectangle. Okay, this rectangle I can give it some corner radius. I can just copy this guy all over, put it here, and then no, let me create another one. Let's say we go with circle here. Okay, so let me go and copy this particular color, paste this one here, and then I can create maybe polygon. Okay, make sure that everything is inside that frame. Oh. And the frame is set to clip content. Okay, let me copy another fine color there. Let me go with this one. This one has more field. Let me paste it. Okay, and then I can even duplicate this one and this, make it big, and do some sorts of things. Let's create another one here. I'm gonna make it gray inside and just cut it. I'll paste it here inside. And let's change the fill to maybe red now, so we can have something contrasted as far as visual element is concerned. Let me go with linear. For this color, for you to choose a color that fits together as far as gradient is concerned, you have to use some color theory to do it if you are not sure. So yellow is always going to what? Be okay with red, no matter what. So let me do this one here. What I'm going to do here is that we are still having some whites here, but it's totally okay for now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to select all of them, okay, and I'm going to add effects, effects. That's going to be layer blue. So I'm going to increase the layer really big like this. Let me just go with maybe something like 200. See what we have now. So you can see it's looking a bit fine. And then I'm going to set the opacity to maybe 7 like this. You can see. So I'm just going to copy the same frame. So this place, the same frame to this place. Okay. And all the elements of this frame now, I can then rotate it. Do you understand what I want to do now? So if I animate it now, the color is going to be what? It's going to be wheeling at the background. And if you have anything on the foreground, then that thing just pop up and then all those things running at the background is going to be just be what? And it's going to make a very good sense to do this as but I'm not going to do that now. If you have time, you can just go ahead and do it. Because all of this thing I used to showcase in my LinkedIn back in the days. So I think you'll cover everything as far as the property is concerned that Figma animate, Figma Smart animate. Okay. So the one that we've not covered is the curve in Smart Animate. Let me show you the curve. What I'm going to do here is let me delete this. Okay. And I'm going to make this frame to be a bit longer than this. I'm coming. I don't want this thing to move without frame. That's because of this constraint. So I'm going to send it to left. Okay. And I'm going to push it like this now. So now I'm going to copy this guy here. Okay. And I'm going to just, you can see the reason why I'm copying it. I still want the name to be maintained. Okay. So prototype now. This is what I'm going to do. When we click on this button, this circle, we should go to this place. Okay. And we know how it will work now. So I make it to be on click, navigate to, the name is artboard. This one is destination artboard, animation smart element. Now, I will not use linear again. We know linear, that linear will just move just like that without even pass at one particular position. So let's use like ease in here. Okay. I won't explain everything. Okay. But I will explain ease in, ease out. If you understand ease in and ease out, All this is in out, you understand it. And is back is all of this just based on some curve, the number on curve. I will show you where you can visualize it in a bit. So this one should be easing. Okay. And let's have it as 500 milliseconds for now. And then we can use this one to say position and curve now. That's the flow name. So let's now go here and see what happens. Position and curve. Let me click the A. See what happens now. Let me you can click on this option, more menu, and click on fit width so that we can be able to see all our screen. Fit width like this. So let me start again. See what happens. When this particular circle is starting, it's slow a little bit. But when it's about to end, then it's fast. Right? That's easing. It just means when you are starting, ease down a bit. Then when you want to end, then fast. Okay. You can see now again. That's what that means. Okay. You also have this out. So let me go and set this to this out now. So this out is the opposite of easing, as you might have guessed. So this one will just what? When you are starting, it's going to be at normal position. Okay. But when you want to end, then you ease down. Okay. See what we see what we have here now. You can see when it starts, it's fast. And then when it's about to end, you slow down. Okay, we also have this in out. I mean, this in out. This in out just means that when you are starting, slow down a bit. In the middle, you fast. And when you're about to what end, slow down a bit. So let me show you this particular website here that you can use to play around with it. And of course, all of these things you can also do it in CSS if you know how CSS work. So I think this site, kubicbca.com. Okay. So this kubicbca.com, you can see this easing out in action. So you can see this this one is looking like a blue-green um, rectangle now. This is what we are going to focus on. Okay. So let me set it to linear here. So if I set it to linear and I click on go, so what will happen? Just as normal. Okay. But if I click on ease now, it's going to go in an easy way. Okay. So let's start to easing now. Easing, as you've known, is what? It will start with in an easy way, but when it's about to end, it will be a little bit faster. You can see the same thing what is out. About to end, a little bit slower. And easing out. Okay. It's about to end. And when it's about to start, when it's about to end, it slows down a bit. Okay. So you can this is the curve of the animation. So if you want, you can actually adjust this curve. You can adjust it to whatever you like here. Okay. And this is you don't have to crank all these numbers sometimes, it depends on the way it's going to be. This one is just like the linear. When you are changing the curve now, it's going to be behaving differently. I myself, I don't all this particular stuff, I don't really deal with it more than this. But you don't need to even come to this place. Just want if you want to see how this one works, you can actually watch some YouTube video on it. But Figma himself or itself is enough for you to do some custom custom Bezier. The name of that particular movement is Bezier. So you can go to this curve and you can go to custom Bezier. Okay. Here you can customize it the way you like. But I think that one is a bit confusing. So you can go with all this one that's Figma prepare for you to use. This gentle, quick, bouncy, slow, and so on and so forth. Suppose you want to go with bouncy. Now it will bounce when it's about to end and when it's ended. Let me start again. So you can see now it's bouncy. Okay. So those things and you can do some crazy stuff here. Okay. Just like the way alarm normally behave. So that's it for Figma auto layout. And we can see that we can actually animate a lot of stuff with this. Imagine we can combine scale together with what? With movement, with color, and it's going to give us a very fine animation. That's what we actually have here. In this place, we're having a different change in color and then in movement. Okay, this one, the movement is here, and then this one is here. Okay, please let me connect my system. We have different one here. So let's take a look at how we can actually animate this guy. Well, let's animate this one first. Okay, let's animate this one first because this one is a bit simple. You yourself can actually go and animate it. So let's animate this one first so that we don't just animate only the um, mobile mobile application. We can animate all the section. When it comes to website, if you want to animate websites, it's okay, advisable for you to be doing it section by section. You know, as I told you, this is one section. This is what we call hero section. I think I even have to rename it. This is hero section. This is hero section. This is category section. This is feature list section. This is YO section, testimonial section, the CTA section, and then the footer, of course. So if you want to animate it, it's okay that you animate this one first. If you are doing it in real world, though, not like you want to showcase it on your social media, and that's different. You can do it whatever you like. You know, when you are giving to a developer, it's okay that you animate it section by section, unless you are creating a parallel effect that link one section to the other. And in most cases, you're going to be dealing with just three sections, not all of them at the same time. It is because of if you make any mistake in one particular place, it's going to be very hard for you to trace again. But let's see how, what we have here. So I want to do it section by section for now, so that you yourself can even replicate the same thing, unless you have a very good experience with this. So what I want to do is, as we said, all of them must have the same name. What you want to animate, okay? Otherwise, it will not work. So I'm going to copy it. The reason I'm copying it because I want it to have the same name, so that I don't have to worry about the name again. So this one I can then make it to come like this, right? So when it's about to come like this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the opacity. Okay. Let's see what we have now before we continue. Because this thing can be very, very confusing if you don't get the flow. So I'm going to, I think I already have one flow here. Not sure. There's no flow. I'm going to remove this flow. Let me just locate this flow. Click on that particular button to be able to locate the flow. So this flow, I'm going to remove it. Maybe that I was playing around with it. In fact, this animation, I didn't have time to plan it. Suppose I plan it, would have been more interesting. But let's do some stuff. So let me just draw this line from here to here. And then I'm going to make it to be, now, it will not make sense to put it on click because it is when the website is loaded that all this animation is going to show. That's after some minutes. It's not going to make sense on click again. Do you understand? So let's set it to after delay. And let's go with 800 milliseconds for now. And let's see how it looks like. So the animation smart animate, not bouncy, please. Let's go with ease out. Okay, so that it's fast when it's coming in, and then when it's about to end, it's slow down a bit. So let me go with yeah, 800 milliseconds for now. We say let's go, and then let's leave it at 300 milliseconds and see how it's going to look like. So let's create the flow for it, and the flow of this wants to be let's just call it website, Okumba website, or let me just call it the section now, hero section, Okumba hero. Now this particular um, section is, yes, you can call it header or nav, but all of them put together is header. This one is the nav bar. This is a nav link. So all of this one are nav, they are nav link, but all of them put together is usually called header. Because you think of it as a human being, head, and then from the neck downward is like the body, and then the leg is the foot and all. So let's see where we go. So let it reload, and then yeah, Tokumbo Hero. So what you have now. Okay, let me start taking through that. You see what we have now. Okay. And of course, the tire will not wheel. The tire will not wheel in this case, so, unless you want to create video for it. But at least it's going to, you know, and you can see this linear now, this curve, that is making sense because it's okay that when a car is moving, it's going to be on speed. But when it's about to stop, it will not stop abruptly, like linear. It will now stop slowly. That's how a car usually stop. In fact, that's how a car stop. Always all the car stop that way. If you match brake, um, if you match push brake like that, it's going to be something different. It can cause an accident. Okay, that's the instance of that linear curve in real world. Okay, and I think now is too fast. If you ask me, I feel like it's too fast. Maybe we can slow that the distance a bit. Come in. Imagine if I don't teach you all of this positioning, and then I just move on to this place. If you just you don't even know what is going on. But let me just change this one to we can go with 500 millisecond, and then let me go with um 600 milliseconds. This one is always you want to be tweaking it till you get a desired result. All right. Okay. So let's go with got again. Oh, I think that fast makes sense, but let's leave it like that. Otherwise, we waste the rest of the day doing this. So if we don't actually remove the opacity, see how it's going to look like. Before it's load, we'll be seeing it. You can see now. And that does not make sense. That's why Figma animates opacity. I saw your opacity here, and that time does not really make sense. But now I think it's made total sense now. Let me remove the opacity. If you want to remove the opacity, you can actually press the number key on your keyboard. So one is 10%, two is 20%, three is 30%, four 40%, on and until nine 90%. If you want to make it to be what 100%, you press zero. Want to make it 0% again, you double click zero. Okay. So let me double click zero now. Okay. So we are good. So let's animate this guy too. The same thing. In fact, it's very simple actually. Very simple. So um yeah. So let's see what you have now. Okay. So this canal, they are very close. I want it to be like as this one gets to this particular point, it does what? Is go back a bit. We can do that. If you want to do that, that means we have to create different frame. Maybe I'll remove it later on. But let me just show you. Because I don't want anything that will tamper with our text. I want us to create nice animation too for our text. Okay. And this one, we can actually do something to this one. We can just maybe fade this one like this. Okay. So let's see what we have. See, see the way it works. And see, it's giving us some nice animation now. Okay. So maybe this one too. And see what we have. So from this place to this place. Okay. 600 milliseconds. That's going to be too much. It's going to be after the later, of course. And that's going to be, let's make it to be maybe 100 milliseconds. Not sure. And then this one's going to be a little bit maybe slower, maybe fast, I'm not sure. And then use your normal ease out. Okay. So what I want us to do in this case is I want us to just make this one to shift back a little bit. Okay. You can actually make this one to shift forward, but we will not worry about that one for now. If it does not make sense, we delete this screen. In fact, my delete this screen. Just want to see. I just want to show you how you can create something complex with this simple hero section. Let's see what we have. Let me start again. You can see now that this one is now like it's a bit refreshing. Okay. And that can actually make users to feel like, wow, these are real cars. Okay. It's going to boost that kind of the experience the user enjoy with the car. And this is a bit interactive. Okay. Because of they are close. Because if they are close, this one can be a bit little bit drawn to the back. You can do the same thing with this one here, but I'm not going to focus on this one now. Let me just go and focus on our text. Okay. So what I want us to do with the text is I want us to have some parallel effects moving on. And what that means is that this guy, okay, this guy will not move at the same time as this guy. Okay. So what I will do is now when I started this prototyping, I forgot to remove all the auto layouts on my screen because if you're animating with auto layouts, it's going to be giving you a dick. I always remove auto layouts on my um on my Figma layouts before I started prototyping, but I forgot. So let me just do that, and I hope it will not conflict with what we already have here. So I'm going to right click, okay, and you see more auto layout option. So go to remove all auto layouts. Let me click it, okay, and here too the same thing. Remove all auto layouts, and here remove all auto layouts. Okay, let me see if it does not affect my prototype. Okay, everything is still working very well now because I wanted to move this in that time. So if I did it with auto layout, it will know everything just be moving at the same time. They are grouping auto layout. But now, without auto layout, let's see how I want to do it. So what I want to do is, first of all, I will move both of them like 20% to the bottom. Then I'm going to select all of this, only this one, and I'm going to move this one like this. Okay, like this, and then this one too, like this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add both of them. So that way they will not be coming at the same time. It will not be something that come at the same time. Okay, let's see what we have here. You can see this one is a bit coming late, but then it's still not solid the way I want it. It's not solid. And of course, if you have the time, you can actually create a frame. The frame will now clip this this heading. You make it to clip content, and then you reduce the size. But I don't want us to go into that now. So what I will do is I'm going to just make this guy more stagger. Let me see it again. Hmm. Maybe we can make both of them like this at this point, and then make it this way. And we can actually, yeah, let's see. Let's see where we are. Because sometimes, okay, that you can make it better. Let me just put this one to be like this. Really go down because the heading will come first, then this one to be come next. In fact, let us just do some nice rotation here. Maybe that will add some, you know, some little touch. People like this one a lot. I myself, I don't, to be honest with you guys, I don't use prototype all the time. I use it not all on my project because of clients usually don't demand for prototyping as far as I'm concerned. So you can see what we have now. That's what we have now. That this is now looking like a bit wireless now. And here is not giving us a very good effect because of we still have the quality on. Let's see what we have. You can see now. Okay. You can see what we have. And I think you can actually, know, reduce this little bit. Maybe you are wondering if you are still into prototyping that how is the animation working? This one we don't move it, okay? Because all of these guys they have the same name with this one. They will still come back to this particular position and they will animate all of this property one after the other. That's the scaling, positioning, opacity, rotation, and fill. Okay. And we can actually make this one too. I'm just saying it now. That looks like light. We can actually make it to be beaming to the user. Okay. But before then, this button too, we can make it to do something nice. But I think it's out of the viewport. No, it's out of the viewport for now. But no matter what, we can do something cool with it. We can actually make this one to come from top. Understand? And we just make it opacity like this. So let's see what we got. Uh, let's see if you can fit the width and height. Okay, so that we can see everything at once. But you will not see the everything at once when it comes to the user. For our own purpose, maybe you can just slow it up now. But this is really fast. It's too fast. So let me change the delay. Not delay actually, but then we are working. Everything here is now is out to everything as far as here is concerned is out. If you want to make everything happen at the same time, you have to create another frame at this point, and then link it again and again and again like that. But going to that, we are not going to finish everything by the time we should finish it. So let me make this one to be let me just make it to be, let's say 900. Okay, because this controls the movement. This particular delay controls the delay before it starts. But this one controls the movement. So let's start again. Oh wow. Yeah, it's nice. If everything load now and this come like this, it's not bad. I just feel like this one, this button, I'm looking for that button, that potatoes button to be CTA or something. You can see why it is always good to give good names to your button. See what I did not rename it. That's why it's giving me this headache. We can actually make it to be a little bit. What I did is that I move it downward a bit so that it's not becoming too far from the top. So let me, okay. So that's what we have. Okay, yeah, good. So what we can do is, again, is just to make all these light that are beaming here. You see, this one is looking like all these side lights. This one is looking like the headlights. So we can just tamper with the opacity a little bit too. In fact, this one is set to um, let's just make it a bit lower, not something crazy. Okay. Okay. That's what we've got. I don't want us to create another frame in between because we can create another frame in between now, and that will give you some cool animation that this one will come first, this one will come second, and then this one will on. This one will on before I show you this one on. But I still want to keep everything simple. Okay, you have access to this design if you want to. I can do that. So let's animate this guy here. This one here. Okay. So the long screen. Let me see. I think I have some animation here. But let me just remove every. Let me remove everything. I'm going to copy it. I will not remove this one, but I'm going to copy it. That here. Come on, this is too much. So let me remove it one after the other. So you can click on here, delete. Make sure you click on the line, delete. You know what? Let me copy it to where we are working. So that I can space them. Then I can easily remove the connection. Something like this. So I can just go like this, remove it. This one, remove it, and then this one, remove it. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Are you guys even following at all? I've been talking alone since about 1 hour like this. So is anybody with me?
Yes, sir, we are with you.
Are you even following at all, or you will go and watch it again?
I'm still going to watch it again.
What do you say?
I'm saying, sir, we're still following you. However, we are going to watch the video again.
Okay, okay, okay. If this is your first time doing this, you have to pay attention to detail when you are doing it on your own because you're not going to just learn everything as I'm doing it. That's why you have to accept the record and go over it again. Okay. Now in the master class, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make video like this to be short, maybe about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, so that you can actually go over it in an easy way. Because this was some time you watching video of 5 hours, 2 hours long or 1 hour long can be sometimes difficult. So that's how it is. But if you want to know how to animate, I can actually go over it again. But this how we animate in Figma. It's as simple as this. Okay. So what I want us to do with this one is, you know, this is just like a launch screen. So on a launch screen, you usually have some simple animation. I'm going to remove all of the layouts in case there's any. Remove all of the layouts. Remove all of the layouts here. Remove all of the layouts and here too. Remove all of the layouts and here remove all of the layouts. Okay, so here we can actually move elements together. Okay, so let's focus on this screen for now. This launch screen. Let me copy it here because then we're going to be creating multiple screen. And that's what we have here. So this screen, what I want us to do is, first of all, we have a screen that it's just so only blank like this before the logo come into play. Okay. So at this position, I want us to select all of this guy. In fact, let me remove the group before I copy it so that we don't have conflict as far as the name is concerned. Let me remove this group. Okay. And let me remove this group too. I think this is, let me move it and see what's going on. Design. Yeah, I know something is wrong with that. And remove this group again. Let's see what we have. Okay. This one too. This one. Okay, good. Good. So let me just copy it now. So what I want us to do is, do we have any group here? Okay, no group. What I want us to do here is, I want us to move this one like this. Just scatter them a bit. This one like this. Probably this one like this. Okay. This one like this. Okay. And then this one will not animate it. So you don't animate this one. You just reduce, make it like this. Then of this one, so of course, make it like this. All of this guy, you make it like this. Okay. Let's see what we have. Prototype. And then here, there's going to be what? After delay. This is because when you launch an application on your screen, on your phone, it's not going, you are not going to click any button before the animation will happen. It's going to be after delay. And this after delay now is going to be just 1 millisecond. Okay. So let's set the animation duration to probably 1 second. That's 1000 millisecond. And then let's leave it to this out for now. So let's see how it's going to be like. So the animation, the flow, let's call it rejoice. Rejoice mobile app, something like this. Okay, so let me just go ahead and play it now. You can see what you have now. Okay, so when you launch this now, something similar to this. Okay, and you can see the animation as also it is. Okay. It's giving us a very good brand. So let's just copy this screen now. You can actually do this other thing here, if you want. You can just create another screen. Sorry, that's my internet. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to put it here, and this one, I'm going to put it down here. And of course, let me know. Put this guy here, and that's one. That's so we are good. Okay, so from here to here again, after delay, let's go on the second now, and then you can actually make this a bit faster, maybe something like 700 millisecond. Okay, so here now, Let's see what we have. From here now to this place, then we move on to the onboard screen. Okay, it's going to be after delay 1 millisecond. There's no any animation here, so we can leave this one to maybe, let's say, linear and see how it goes. Let's start. You can see, okay. Yeah, it's okay, but I feel like this one is too much. The linear, the timing is too much. Let's go with 500 milliseconds. Okay. So you launch the application, you see the logo, and then this one. Then you see the, okay. After that, you see this onboarding screen. And for onboarding screen, we can just continue and on and on. Let's animate this guy here. You can see this one has the name of frame 1, and let's circle ellipse 1, ellipse 1, and ellipse 1. Let's see if all of them have the same name, because they must all have the same name. They have with this one too, yeah, the same name, and that's very cool. So we'll just make it to this place and then we stop this lecture because I don't want it to get too long. So here now, from here to this place, it's not going to be after the layer because here we're actually dealing with interaction. Okay, so the user can click on this next button or click on this skip button. If he or she does click on this next button, then it's going to be taken to the second screen. Okay. So on click, smart animate, let's use results. Okay. And then you can go on and on. I think we did this in our last class. But now that we're using smart animate, this particular positioning and field is going to be animating, which is going to be boosting the experience. Okay. Surely it's not going to be that button. It starts this one here. And then on click. Actually, this one can happen in a dissolve. Maybe I can this one to show you dissolve. But I don't think it's even the best example, but at least you can see how the software work. Yeah. So let's start again. Okay. Next, you can see this button, and you can even see that because of this frame, rectangle one has the same name with this rectangle one. With this one, Figma is animating them. Smart Animate is picking them up and is animating them. And you can see how cool that is. You can see this one too is animating. This rectangle too is animating, as you can see too. And it's giving this illusion of as this one is flipping, the bedroom is changing along with it. Okay, and then you can see now everything now dissolving. Okay, that's how you can animate your design in Figma. And to me, it's very simple unless you want to make it complex. Okay, some people from the center always want to show that they can do it better, and they want to make something very complex. Need to do it in the way, especially if you want to be showcasing your designs on X, on LinkedIn, or Facebook, or even if you have a YouTube channel, you're making something crazy. But this is always the initial point. So with this, you know how to do what I did in this video very well. Of course, um, the sky's no limit. It's just like a starting point. So we are going to stop this lecture here. And if you have any question now, you can ask so that I can answer them. But I think at least you have a glance and on what Smart Animate does in Figma and how it animates your design. And even if you have experience with it before, this video is going to add some little things to the experience that you had, because before I knew all this property, all this opacity, feel, I did not know how animation work. So I just feel like if you move elements together, the thing will just move. But now I know how it works, and I hope this video to explain in detail how everything works. and how you can combine everything together. So thank you for sticking with me. Please, if you have any question now, you can ask me. Is there any question? Mr. Ken, do you have any question? Is it Mrs. or Miss or Madam Tembekili? Do you say? Okay, good. You have not been you have not been for some while. I don't know. You've not been active for some time. For me, seeing you this evening is like it's like a blessing. It's like a magic to me. So thanks for joining us. Do you have any question?
No, sir, thank you. I don't have a question for now.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Okay. So this is our last class in this boot camp. So I think this gets you started in this field. If you have been serious with it, there's no way you are going to know how to do one or two things as far as UI is concerned using Figma. And I really saw you guys tools that use on daily basis like coolers and okay good like coolers and this base here and of course how you can do some of these things. So the next step is based on you guys. The next step is you're going to learn UX, of course, and then after that you're going to be designing. I understand that there are some things that we've not touched in Figma. Like for example, this pencil we've not touched it, but if you will join the master class, we're going to delve into details of pencil and then all the properties that we could not be able to touch because of, to be honest, 1 month is not enough for you to learn all of these things. This constraints we've not touched it, and some other stuff that we've not touched in detail, and even the US process that we've not touched. But if you want to grow in the field, you can learn all of these things by yourself and then start creating portfolio for yourself. If you create portfolio for yourself, that's how people can give you job because people that want to give you job these days, you always ask, what have you done before? You know, you're not likely going to take them to Figma. Okay, I've done this one before. No, you should have it in a way that is going to be well organized and you can give them the link to access it, to see it. So that's it. So thank you so much for sticking around with me to the end of this boot camp. It has been a long ride. Um, this is going to be it. If you guys will, if you will go ahead and do the wireframe design and prototype of what you've been given as an assignment to do, then we can actually have one more class. That class is not going to be on me teaching, but for you guys to be presenting what you've done. If that one is going to happen, but if it's not going to happen, is is totally fine. I'm okay. I've delivered what I want to deliver. If you go and check the bootcamp curriculum now, you will see that I've covered everything one after the other. Okay. So what I'm going to do is that maybe one of these days I move all of this video into my YouTube channel. Then you can go ahead and watch it again. But all of this is going to be in public domain, which means you can access it anytime that you want. Anybody with the link can also access it. It's not restricted at all. Okay. So the bootcamp document is going to be there. In case you need anything, it's going to be there. Okay. So if you have time, you can follow me on my social media handle. I'm on X. Okay, let me even show you my X handle here. I will also send it to the group chat. Okay, okay, this is me on X. See, that is the same thing on LinkedIn, the same thing on Facebook, the same thing on Instagram. You will see my picture there. And you will see me as designer there. So you can actually identify me very easily. So I look forward to seeing you guys creating amazing design, you know, design by yourself, go on challenging challenges. It could be a weekly challenge, a monthly challenge, and that's how you improve. I think I did challenges about 2 times now. The first one is just 1 month challenge. The second one is 3 month challenge. And those challenges actually improvement tremendously. In fact, the second challenge, which I did this year, actually gave me some job. Okay. So that's how it is. And just you designing, so you're design to experts in the field that can actually review your design. And you're going to be getting insight from them, and then you will improve your design. And one more thing that I need to add is that you as a designer, you have to be training your eyes. You should be looking at good design. So go on Behance. I give you places that you can go to when I was talking about inspirational resources, where you can see design that are very good. Look at them. Take a look at how the designer organize the content, the layout, the typography, the color. It's going to train your eyes. And when you look at bad design, you could tell that this one is bad, this one is good. So if you are creating design too, if your own tool is not really good, you can actually tell. That's where you improve. So that's what I have for now. And I think that people that are not here too, they will go and watch this video later. So I'm going to stop the recording here. And once again, thank you so much for sticking with me up to the end of this boot camp. So this moment is something that I really do not take for granted. So thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to end this video here. Hope there's no any question again at all. There's no any concern